Welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed episode 1. If you haven't seen it, go click right here to view it. Hopefully I can figure out how to work YouTube and put that there. If not, it's on my channel. And in this episode 2, I want to show you guys some of the work me and my friends did with some time lapse of the painting and what have you. And tell you what we wanted to do versus what we did and the lessons learned along the way and things like that. What we ended up going with. Well, without further ado, here it comes. So for first off, we can start with what was probably the biggest ticket item that we contemplated doing for the condo, and that was removing all the carpet throughout the whole unit and installing laminate flooring throughout. What we ended up doing is, after getting a quote and talking about it, we decided to keep the carpet that was already there. We came to this decision because the lady that had been living there was a 97-year-old lady, so it's in immaculate shape, and they put it in 3 years ago, so I mean, this carpet's basically brand new. There's really no point in ripping it all up and replacing it with laminate. But I know that laminate is more durable and better for rentals because of that. And carpet you have to replace all the time if you do that. But we decided for this first one, we'll just keep it. And then once this tenant leaves or something happens to it, then we'll replace it with laminate. So just save some cost up front by pushing it off, essentially. Not to mention the quote we got for the laminate was around $7,000. Maybe I'm just cheap, but that sounds really expensive for what was essentially 2 big square rooms and 1,000 square feet, like $7,000. Sheesh. And even if I wanted to pay that, just like everything else nowadays during the pandemic and the supply shortage, they wouldn't be able to even start doing it until the holidays, which at that point was like 4 months away, and we weren't planning on taking that long to finish it, so we didn't want to just wait. So with all those decisions, we decided to leave it as it is. However, I did do some laminate myself in the closet. It's hard to see from the picture here, but there was a temporary little rug we kind of put over the carpet because in the corner of the carpet, it was like deteriorated from whatever was sitting there from the previous owner. We tried to cover it up, but it didn't look good, especially for what we want to rent this place for. We want it to look as good as possible. So I decided to try to put laminate in this little storage room myself. And as you can see from the picture right here, I think I did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. And in total, we only spent $82.41 on materials for a pack of planks, a mallet, and some quarter rounds. However, there are definitely some lessons learned from doing this part myself. One, if you hire someone to install it, it's expensive as hell, in my opinion. And after actually doing it myself, I'd recommend you do it yourself to save money. Wasn't really that hard, which brings me to the second point, is it's not that hard if you have the tools to do it correctly. I have no tools, but luckily my dad had anything I'd ever need, so one of the main things is you need a saw to cut it, the quarter rounds and the planks. So if you don't have the tools, then I don't know, I guess you gotta hire somebody. But if you have the tools, it was really easy. And that being said, it was actually all around pretty simple. I definitely recommend you do it yourself if you have access to the tools. It was way cheaper to do it yourself than paying someone else, in my opinion, and I think it looks amazing. The laminate flooring decision was definitely the most expensive potential upgrade we had, but the largest upgrade we did, surface area wise, time consuming wise, was definitely removing all the wallpaper from the kitchen and a little in the other bedroom, and then painting all the walls, all the trim, all the ceilings, and the entire unit, even the doors. I'm not sure how many weeks this took us, to be honest, but it definitely shouldn't have taken us nearly as long as we did. But I had to go out of town for an extended period of time, I'm talking months. And my girlfriend, works at home, so she could really only get to doing a piece of it by herself on the weekends. So the time it took was much longer than expected. The lessons learned was to hire someone to paint your interior. Don't do it yourself unless you know you're gonna have the free time. It probably would only been a couple grand, maybe $3,000 to paint the interior. But I figured we could save that ourselves and just do it ourselves with our friends. But because work ended up taking me away and only my girlfriend can only work the weekends, it actually took us much, much longer than we thought it would take than doing it ourselves, and we probably actually lost money in the time it spent sitting there not being rented than if we were to just pay somebody to do it. All in all, it cost us $312.89 in paint and $230.51 in miscellaneous related things like brushes, tape, the plastic covers for the floor, etc. But the real cost was the time the condo spent sitting off the market because we were unable to get to it. And you're just going to have to stay tuned for the third and final video to see how that affects our ROI when I break down all the numbers. And also, to go along with this lessons learned, it's really more time consuming and tedious than you think. Like, I remember when I was a kid and I'd paint a wall in my bedroom with my parents. It's fun, easy, and fast, and it wasn't hard, but it's definitely more tedious than I remember. So just keep that in mind if you're also deciding to paint an entire inside of your unit. Definitely takes longer than you would expect. So I definitely recommend you just pay someone to do it. Save you time, save you money. After painting all the walls and ceilings, it kind of made the cabinets stand out. They were fine at first, but since it's fresh, bright white contrasting on them, you can kind of see the age to it. So we decided we either need to replace or repaint them. Of those two options, we ended up replacing the cabinets, mainly because we went to get a quote, but they didn't even have someone to come give us a quote. They just said we're backlogged till the holidays, which, like I said earlier, was 4 months away at the time, so we weren't gonna wait for that. Plus, we knew replacing it was gonna cost more than just painting it, but I would at least like an estimate to know. So we ended up painting them ourselves, and it was actually really quick and simple. Once we did the dirty work of getting everything unscrewed and laid out and unbolted and stuff, it was actually quite fast and quite simple. We also got all new hardware for the cabinets as well as a nice little cherry on top, and the total cost to do the cabinets was $112.58. The cabinet handles weren't the only hardware upgrades we made as well. We also upgraded all the fixtures, so all new fans, all new lights, new chandelier where the dining table goes. All the outlets were replaced with new dimmer switches. The more expensive appliance upgrade we made was just one thing, it was a new microwave. We had to pay someone to install it too because there were some technical difficulties, and like I said, I wasn't in town and my girlfriend couldn't figure it out, so that was an additional cost too, but it is what it is. Things never go as you plan. And lastly, we removed the bifold doors that led to the sunroom as well to let the light in and open up the unit, make it feel more roomy. All in, these upgrades cost us $418.85 for the microwave plus the installation fee, $273.58 for the new light fixtures, $244.44 in the wall plates, the dimmer switches, and just the new outlets altogether, as well as a smoke detector. And the total cost was $936.87 to replace all that hardware. There were also a few extra miscellaneous expenses like replacing all the shelving and hanging poles in the closet, which cost us $140.21. We replaced all the blinds, air vents, and air filters for the condo as well. That was $180.82. Who knew air vents were so expensive? But the total for the miscellaneous expenses was $321.03. And like you heard me mention earlier, things never go as easy as you plan. So of course the condominium community was having a company come out and bulk replace old water heaters at a discount, and we were offered to join in on that. And as our water heater was 12 years old, that's basically what you expect the life expectancy of a typical water heater. We decided to have it replaced, and that cost us $1,200. So all in, the total cost to rehab the condo was $3,196.29. I'm sure we saved a lot of money doing it ourselves and abusing our friends for free labor, but we probably lost more than we saved in the time it took due to work complications. I definitely think we bit off a little more we could chew with that. So for the next rehab, we'll probably hire out most of the work because I'm sure we lost more money sitting around doing nothing than if we just paid someone to do it. But if you have the time and you're able to go to the unit consistently and do it yourself, I would recommend doing that for at least the simple things. But you'll have to stay tuned and watch the third and final video to see how much those extra months of downtime actually ended up costing us on our return on investment. But we did learn a lot from being hands-on for this first one, and I think that experience will help us in the future, so it's not all a loss. You live and you learn. I'm just hoping some of you guys can learn from my mistakes, and so I hope I save you some headache. I'll catch you guys in the next video where the condo is finished and rented, and I'll break down all those sweet numbers I'm sure we're all waiting for. See you.